Eric, Augustine's 8 children used to call the first day of the week Party Sunday. The family would wake up, attend a short morning mass at the Catholic parish near their house, then head home for lunch and an afternoon of relaxing and watching football. But this summer, the family made the big switch. One of his teenage sons said on a recent Sunday afternoon outside St. Joseph's Shrine, the family's new parish. At St. Joseph, the liturgy is ornate, precisely choreographed, and conducted entirely in Latin. The family drives an hour round trip to attend a service that starts at 11 a.m. and can last almost 2 hours. So clearly they're attending a high mass. The traditional Latin Mass, an ancient form of Catholic worship that Pope Francis has tried to discourage, is instead experiencing a revival in the United States. It appeals to an overlapping mix of aesthetic traditionalists, young families, new converts, and critics of Francis. The caption says, the Augustines at home in Metro Detroit, the family recently switched to attending the traditional Latin Mass. And I'm going to go ahead and give you, Dad, Augustine Dad, virtual high five right there. Boom. Latin Mass adherents tend to be socially conservative and traditionally minded. Some, like the Augustine family, are attracted to the Mass's beauty, symbolism, and what they describe as a more reverent form of worship. Yes. The traditional Latin Mass, also referred to as the extraordinary form, although not anymore, because Pope Francis killed that, was celebrated for centuries until the transformations of the Second Vatican Council in the 1960s, which were intended in part to make the rite more accessible. After the Council, Mass could be celebrated in any language. Contemporary music entered many parishes and priests turned to face people in the pews. But the traditional Latin Mass, with all its formality and mystery, never fully disappeared. Though it represents a fraction of Masses performed at the 17,000 Catholic parishes in the United States, it is thriving. This growth is happening as Pope Francis has cracked down, issuing strict limits on the rite last year. His immediate predecessor, Pope Benedict XVI, had widened access to the Old Mass, but Francis has characterized it as a source of division in the Church and has said that it is too often associated with a broader rejection of the aims of Vatican II. On one level, split over the Old Mass represents a clash of priorities and power struggles in the church leadership. In pews and in parishes, it is more complicated. Many Catholics say they are attracted to the Mass for spiritual reasons, bolstered by ascetic and liturgical preferences rather than by partisanship. Some bishops, including those in Chicago and Washington, D.C., have drastically reduced the availability of the traditional Latin Mass this year. Yeah, you think so? I mean, especially in Washington, D.C. and Chicago. He's talking about Cardinal Cupich and Cardinal Gregory. I wish they would have put the names in the article. Bishops of America, bishops of the world, Pope Francis, cardinals. No one is going to walk into these kumbaya masses and say, this is just timeless, reverent, and beautiful. Do not remove the boundaries that our forefathers set, says the Proverbs. Go back to tradition. Restore the Roman rite. We want our Roman patrimony as Catholics. I don't want Father facing me with his microphone and saying good morning and talking about NFL football games. I don't want him making up prayers of the people, or Karen in the parish council making up prayers of the people. I don't want to shake people's hand during Mass. No. Let's just get back to Jesus. He's the center of it all. Christocentric worship. Christocentric worship. Christ-centered worship. It's all pointed to Jesus Christ on the crucifix and then transubstantiated on the altar. That's what we want. We want Jesus. Sir, we would have Jesus.